Yeah, so current affairs, science and tech for the last week. Okay, now here first thing that we need to understand is blockchain and mainly this BAAS. This is blockchain as a service. Okay, now see, first of all, what is blockchain technology? In very short we'll see this. Okay, otherwise this is a entire chapter that we do. Blockchain technology. Okay, so usually we have a ledger, correct? We have any records in the written form. Now when you make it in decentralized form or you distribute that ledger so that it is available or visible to everybody, but only that person which is authenticated can change that. That is usually how blockchain works. See, like in this one, see this. So there is some client that is initiating a transaction. Okay, any kind of transaction means information. Okay, now he wants to enter this information. Now there are many peer-to-peer network, so many systems have all those previous transactions. So previous transactions are recorded and it is available in all those systems around the world, distributed. Now all these systems will validate this addition of information or transaction. So when this transaction can only be granted access only when all these systems authenticated. Now all these systems are actually servers or computers present around the world. Now this cannot be controlled simultaneously by one person. So because it is distributed in such a way that nobody knows which nodes are connected where, that is why they become very secure, because all of them have to say that this is correct. Okay, now when all of them authenticate this information or transaction, then this gets added as a block. So there were blocks earlier also, there were information earlier also. Now this new information this client was trying to add was authenticated by everybody in the network, and eventually one more new block of information was added. Now all the stakeholders verifies these transaction details. They can see that one more information has come. This is how blockchain works. Now of course you can see hacking all of them is very difficult. That's why it is called a very secure network, because it is distributed in such a way. This is in very nutshell what a blockchain is. Now this originally came for something called Bitcoin. Okay, this technology came for Bitcoin. Now but later on it was found or it was managed by everybody that this can be used in many other ways. For example, now this is information, this is keeping any information. Now this information may be my health records, maybe my land records, maybe anything. So this will have secure information. Now I can have that information about anything. So it can work in all different fields. Like Amazon uses it for its inventory. Okay, so whenever one change is brought in their inventories, let's say one thing is picked and shipped, then everybody in the network gets to know this and all of them validate it, so that कि वो वेयर हाउस में जो काम कर रहा है वो उठा के अपने दोस्त को ना भेज दे. Okay, so everything gets authenticated everywhere. So there are various uses of blockchain technology. Now first is, this is what? So this is innovative distributed ledger system. Sometimes this is why this is called DLS also, distributed ledger system. Now this will do what? This stores data in linked blocks secured by cryptography. Now how they are secured, that is something called cryptography, that we'll deal later. Then so basically first way of securing is distributed system, that is information is distributed everywhere. Second way is cryptography, that is covered by some complex algorithms. Cryptography we'll see later in the main classes. Then P2P networking, that is person to person transaction is there. Okay, these are the three components of it. Now what are key properties that make it useful? First of all, this is distributed, so every trusted participant keeps a copy of the ledger. Then this is immutable, validated records are irreversible. Now I cannot change whatever the new block got added, now one person cannot get up and delete this block. So this cannot be easily changed. Okay, you cannot change it in backward direction. That's why it is called immutable. Then timestamp, everything, every transaction is timestamped. Then consensus driven, all of them have to give consensus, then only it gets recorded. Then smart contracts and all. Okay, secured. So these are the main properties of blockchain. Now this was the basic about blockchain. Now we come to our main topic for today, that is blockchain as a service. Okay, now understand, you know software as a service, SaaS. Software as a service is what? For example, earlier you used to have Microsoft Word or a PowerPoint in your laptop, correct? And that was not connected to any internet, nothing. You were using that as a software. Now instead, if you know now Office Suite does not offer you direct Microsoft Word for eternity. It in fact gives you something called subscription model. So basically this is software as a service. So you don't own the software, but you get it as a service based on subscription method. You keep on taking the subscription, you keep on seeing. For example, Netflix, for example, Amazon Prime. Earlier, how you used to get movies? CD, DVDs. Then you used to own the movies. Now you don't own anything. Till the time you have Netflix subscription, you can watch all of it. That is software as a service. Now, sometimes software as a service can also be given in customizable form. For example, like you have different accounts. Let's say you have a Microsoft Office account. Now, when certain institutions or some company will have a Microsoft account, they will have, instead of the Microsoft logo, they will have their own logo. Okay. Now, instead of welcome to Outlook, they may write some quote that they have in their company, some motto. Okay, so that all will come. So these basic changes also you can make in software as a service. For that, of course, you have to pay. Then, so similar to software as a service, there is blockchain as a service. Blockchain as a service, this will provide you platform so that you can start using blockchain applications. This will make the entire framework of it. Okay, like see this. So this is definition is third party cloud based setup or management of blockchain networks for building and running apps. Now see this analogy. This is like renting a ready kitchen. So basically I rent a ready kitchen. Okay, I go there. Now usme sab masale wasale sab everything is kept there. I go there, I pick a pan, I put everything, I make my food, I eat it, I use it, I go. Correct? That is how, and that entire system of kitchen, every ingredient being present, gas being there, light being there, AC being there, all those is what? Infrastructure, supporting infrastructure, that is provided by BAS. That is blockchain as a service. So there are some companies, for example, Microsoft provides it. Okay, for example, the most famous one is Amazon provides it. So all these companies provides the entire framework, and you just have to make specific use cases for your own company. That's it. Now, what are types of blockchains? So there is one, that is public blockchains, usually that you hear about. Okay, these are open and permissionless. So basically anybody can view in them. Of course, nobody, only the specific person can change, but everyone can view them. Okay, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's why you might have seen that people are posting on the internet that now Satoshi Nakamoto, who was the founder of Bitcoin, holds these many Bitcoins. How do they know? Correct. This is the personal information, but in the network, because Bitcoin is public, so everybody can view it, but nobody can change his stock, but everybody can see. This is public. Example, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Then consortium is when multi-organizations governance. Now see here many people can see it, but who can make the changes? Only certain entities can make changes. For example, you know about interbank transactions, correct? Interbank transactions are there. Now who will be given this right to make any changes? All these banks. For example, Axis Bank. Now right now we are not on blockchain, but if we are, then Axis Bank, SBI Bank, all these main entities will be given power to enter transactions. Everybody can see it, but only limited people can change it. Then you have something called private. This is for a single organization control. Now this is held by a simple central authority, that is the head of the organization or whoever is in charge of this. So they will manage everything. Okay. Here it can also be managed who gets what power, that is who can view which of the informations. So that can also be managed here. For example, you don't want any random person to see the entire profit and loss account of Axis Bank, correct? That should be visible only to the head of the Axis Bank or whatever. Okay, so that can be made here, that only specific person gets to know. Then who are the major BaaS players? So this is Microsoft, okay, Amazon, then there is R3 Corda. All these are major players, just some names. Then yeah, how does this work? So what does it provide? On the customer side, this is simple, very simple contracts, this, that. Okay. On the provider side, you see, so basically it will provide all the provisioning and orchestration, nodes, identities, DevOps, security, okay, monitoring, resource bandwidth management, all those things that are dynamically changing, that will be managed by the blockchain company. Okay, whoever is providing you these services. For example, let's say Microsoft is providing you, so they will manage everything. Resource management, how much resource is needed for your particular thing, everything. You just have to take care of your own work. Now, outcome will be faster setup, lower operations burden, and all these. So you don't have to hire the entire team. You're directly using blockchain application without having all the infrastructure for it. Then yeah, then these are some benefits of it. So benefits is, first of all, you get a very secure, better software. Of course, I cannot make it in-house. I cannot hire that level of engineers, okay, that Amazon can hire. Then increase data security. Then you can access it anywhere because it is present as a cloud, that is present on the internet. So I can access it anywhere. Then low cost access to technology. Why it is low cost? Because everything is set up. Now you're just paying for subscription. अगर आपको खुद शो बनाना पड़ता on Netflix, then it would cost a lot of money. But because Netflix makes it, you can see it in 300 rupees per month. Okay. Similarly, they have made the entire infrastructure, so this is low cost for you. This offers massive scalability. This we had understood in previous lectures also, similar for software as a service, that now if I have to expand, it is very easy because Amazon has enough server powers. So if I am using more, I'll pay more. No other thing I have to do. Otherwise, if I am doing a local setup, I'll have to hire 3 more engineers. So that won't work. Then higher compatibility, of course, between all their different apps and everything. So these are the major benefits of BaaS business model. Then yeah, advantages we are done with. Relevant use cases, for example, you can use it in supply chain, trade or finance settlements, then B2B payments, KYCs, verifying credentials, healthcare records, land records, all those basic whatever are the uses of blockchain. Now blockchain applications are being provided to you as a service. So basically all those things that are uses of blockchain will be uses of BaaS also. Same. Supply chain, finance, payments, KYCs, health records, land records. Then challenges, risk. What are the challenges? First is vendor lock-in and interoperability across clouds or framework. This is a major issue. Right now, this is a major issue. For example, we have UPI, Unified Payment Interface, that is for all the different apps, you can scan it anywhere, any QR. Now we don't have such interoperability in case of BAS. That is why anybody who takes Amazon services, now everything he made or uses is based on that Amazon framework. Now he cannot suddenly switch to Microsoft, so they are stuck. If you know, many banks, like very big banks or investment banking units, for example, Goldman Sachs has a contract with Nutanix. This is for $10 billion for 10 years. Now for 10 years they have done a contract, because they know they can't switch networks, and they also know that they can't switch networks. So that's why you get somehow stuck in it. Similar is the case for BAS. There also interoperability is a major issue. Then governance and privacy, data residency, key custody, access control. Now you are giving all that data to Amazon. Now Amazon is managing that data. How? That becomes an issue. Then cost versus performance. So storage growth, latency, throughput. Now if you don't have like good quality of internet or good quality of networks in your area, then this whole cloud system becomes difficult for you. Then skill gaps and security. Okay, so now enough people are not trained in dealing with these. That's why there is skill gaps. Then regulatory clarity. So this is actually not mentioned in IT Act. Now of course IT Act was made in 2001, sometimes amended 2016-19. Even then there were not that much use of blockchain as a service or like that. So it is not in the IT Act. In fact, the first company that was made as a BAS, this was only in 2015. This was Microsoft, and at that time only it was just a futuristic vision that they were initiating as a company. It was not needed then. So this is so recent. Okay, like from post COVID only we are seeing it, BAS as a growing sector. Okay, then we come to National Blockchain Framework. Now this was a lot in news. So basically now you saw Microsoft has it, Amazon has it, all those companies have it. Now of course if all those companies hold it, then we have a problem in India, because you don't get data localization, you don't get the important data, you are always dependent on foreign entities. So what will the government want? And of course that data is very valuable, so government will want to make some system of its own. That is what is National Blockchain Framework. So here, first of all, this is India's National Blockchain Framework was launched by MeitY in September 2024 with an outlay of this much. Okay, now this works on trust by design model. Trust by design model means what? The model is based on blockchain, so by the very basis on which this model is made gives it all the trust, because blockchain is very difficult to hack. That is why it is called trust by design model. So by design you are using blockchain for everything in the background, so it makes it more trustworthy. Now so we have also made data centers like Amazon, Microsoft have. We have made it in Bhubaneswar, Pune and Hyderabad for resilience and scale. Okay, now what are the traction so far? So basically we are also making that same framework, okay, like we saw BAS as a service and all those things. Now scale is we have done 34 plus crore documents verifications as on October 21st, 2025. This was in the PIB report. Okay, that we have scanned through 34 crore documents to understand if anything was tampered with, are they correct documents. That all we have done using this. Then yeah, what are the core components of it? This is important. Okay, the first is Vishwasya blockchain stack. Now you understand what is blockchain stack? Same thing. Now this will, like we had software stack, DG stack, correct? So similarly we have blockchain stack. What it will do? It will provide the framework on which similarly companies can build upon as their apps. So this is a national modular BAS backbone under NIC that hosts permission chains for public services. So all the companies can use it to make their own apps. Now they will make, instead of on the Microsoft or Amazon systems, they can make it on our own blockchain stack. Then we have NBF Lite. This is sandbox for startups or academia to prototype safely. So now before deploying of apps, you need prototypes, you need to test the prototype. So they have made an entire system, NBF Lite, where you can where these startups can test their new applications that they are trying to make. In prototype they have to test like what will happen when certain person tries to change this information, when user is trying to do this, user is trying to do that. So all that first you have to check. So that will be done in NBF Lite. Then there is Pramanik. Pramanik is on-chain app authentication. Now it will check the origin, support details, everything of different apps that you get. Now eventually we want everything to be judged by this Pramanik, because if you know, there are many apps that people install and then they start tracking its data and all those issues. Chinese apps we banned also. Okay, so similar thing should not happen. That's why we have made Pramanik. Then last is National Blockchain Portal, which will have all these resources and onboarding for different departments. From where they can access all these? From this portal. These are the four main components of it. Then yeah, why does this matter? So this is important for governance, provides temper evident records, instant verification, correct? Then transparent audit trails, all these. Then citizens, what citizens will get? They'll get faster services, fewer intermediaries, because everything is recorded. Otherwise, if you know, in government, if you have to get one land certified for you, at every level you need a sign, correct, based on the size of the land, correct? There are different powers. So all those signs you need. Now here all those intermediaries can be eliminated, and simply just by the blockchain allocation you can get to know. Then in economy, interoperable rails for startups. Now see, what was the major issue there? Interoperability issue. Here we are trying to provide interoperable rails for startup. Okay. Then and public platforms. For example, if you remember, before UPI, Paytm was not providing any kind of interoperability. You need to add in that Paytm wallet, and then every money also you got back in Paytm wallet only. If you had to send it to your bank account, they were charging you 2%, correct? Now once UPI came, interoperability came, then they stopped charging. So similarly we are trying to give interoperability here also. Then key challenges are: first, scale and integration, onboarding states, departments, legacy systems. Right now many of the records that we have are not even digitized, forget being on the blockchain. Then policy and legal, so data protection, decentralized identity, all these. Then capacity, we don't have enough skilled people in blockchain and technologies. Then operational maturity, institutional coordination, sustained political or administrative will. Like this government may start, then what will happen? The government gets changed and everything stops. Okay, for example, many things that were started between 1998 to 2002 during the Vajpayee government stopped after this, and many things that were started in 2012 2013 stopped in 2014. So that policy changes always an issue. And this is a quote by PM Modi, you can use it anywhere. A digital India is an empowered India, boosting ease of living and transparency. Then we come to Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar. This is just simple topic. Vigyan Puraskar given for Vigyan, and Puruskar means what? Puruskar means prize. So it is a prize given in science. Vigyan Puruskar 2025. Now, two things you have to see only in this. First is this. Government announced this fine. There is Vigyan Ratna. Okay, this is given after death. Okay, this is given to Professor Jayant Vishnu Narlikar, maybe Marathi. Okay, he was a astrophysicist and he gave some alternate theory of gravity. Okay, you need not know the entire theory, just the name. Then, who gives this? This is instituted by Ministry of Science and Technology. This is guessable, correct? Then, aims to inspire excellence, promote innovation. That you understand. Basically, why are any prizes given? These are given for acknowledgement of their contribution to sciences in India. That's it. Then, it is given in 13 fields. Okay, physics, chemistry, engineering, all fields that you can think of, they are giving in it. Now, this you can slightly remember. Okay, see, Vigyan Ratna. Okay, this is Lifetime Achievement Award. Okay, then you have Vigyan Shri. This is for distinguished contribution. Then Vigyan Yuva Shanti Swarup. Just one time you have to ring this name in your head. Need not remember it by heart. Then, so this is Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar. Okay, now this is given for below 45 years scientist. Basically for young scientist. For scientists, 45 years is young. Okay, 30 years tak to PhD hota hai. Then Vigyan team. So exceptional collaboration work. So this will be given for exceptional collaborative work. By team only you understand it will be collaborative. Then second international Bharat 6G Symposium. Okay, now this is also, see, nothing much in this topic also. See, this is Indian Mobile Congress 2025. So basically Bharat 6G is what? Bharat 6G is an alliance that we have formed. Now this is being led by the industry and government is supporting it. Why? Because we want to be in 6G. We want to be leaders. We want to be global leaders in 6G. Because 6G is yet to be rolled out, we want to be global leaders in it. That is the main aim of it. Now, okay, this is the second international showcased India's push towards a self-reliant, innovative and globally connected 6G ecosystem for Viksit Bharat by 2047. Okay, then Indian Mobile Congress IMC is Asia's leading tech expo. Tech expo, you understand? Expo, you understand? Expo is exhibition, correct? So like you have expo for automobile expo, gets very famous, beautiful cars and all is there. So tech expo is what? Various companies will have their own stalls. They will show what they have done. Okay, then this is jointly organized by, now this you need to remember, this is jointly organized by Department of Telecommunication and COAI. COAI is Cellular Operators Associations of India. What are these? Basically all these cellular operators, Airtel, Jio, all these come under this. So Department of Telecommunication and COAI, these two. These two are organizing this. Then what was declared? So which were the signatories? Bharat 6G. Okay, now as we have made 6G, Bharat 6G, now European Union has also made their own. So all of these are there. 6G IA, this is of European Union. Then 8S Next G Alliance, this is of North America and other partners. Theme was 6G as a global public good. Core principles are what? Trusted and secure, resilient and reliable, guessable. Okay, all these are its core principles. Like we have Bharat 6G, they have all others. Now they also send their representatives. We had a event recently. That's why it is in news. Nothing much. Now, what are the targets that India highlight? See, India says that it will have a impact of 1.2 trillion by 2035 because of 6G. Now, intellectual property leadership, 10% of global 6G patents is held by India. Okay, in this conference, I have not written here, but in this conference, India told a lot about how we became self-reliant in 4G. Okay, so if you know, all the 4G networks in India are mostly made by Indian companies. Okay, Jio started rolling it out, okay, silently, and then suddenly it was given free to everybody. If you remember anything about 2016-17, okay, so that they have talked about at length in this conference that we had become self-reliant in 4G. Now 5G they have skipped. Now in 6G we will become leaders. So this is their path. We became self-reliant in 4G. In 6G we will become global leaders. See, what is its vision? So vision is position India as a global leader and co-creator with affordable, sustainable and universal access by 2030. This is their aim. Now, what is B6GA? This is industry-led government facilitated alliance. As I told you, Bharat 6G alliance is what? Industry-led. Who is leading it? All these industries. Then it is facilitated by the government so that they can collaborate with other 6G alliance, this, that, everything is taken care by government. Then last topic, low AI awareness in India according to Pew's survey. So basically this survey came, okay, this is an important organization, does many surveys, like it like an year ago did a survey on religion and sometimes on caste. So all these researches they do, it can give you good data, okay, to quote in mains. Now, so a Pew Research Center survey across 25 countries find India with the lowest public awareness of artificial intelligence despite rapid digitization. So basically, you know, India has had rapid digitization over the last few years. If you know, India is second most users of internet in the world, then our startup ecosystem is now third or fourth largest. So all those things are there. So on one side we have very high digitization, but in their survey when they were asking people on the road, people everywhere in India, they found out that that public awareness about artificial intelligence is very low in India. Then they came up with some figures. For example, in India 14% have heard or read a lot about this. Okay, that means they at least know about it and they have heard as well as read a lot about AI. Then 32% says that we know a little about it. Now how much you get to? You get to 46%. Now the remaining 54% have no clue. So combined awareness is 46%. This is lowest among the 25 countries they tested in. Of course, they were not testing in Sudan. Okay, so they were testing in reasonably good countries. For example, Germany, France. Now in Germany, this awareness came out to be 90% plus. They are not asking you AI based question, batao AI ka kya types of batao. Not this, but do you know about AI? Do you know videos can be doctored in such way? Do you know information can be doctored in such way? So all those basic questions. Have you used AI? Now if you ask this, most people say no. Okay, but if you know that all the things you are using, they are actually using AI. Correct. Now Google search is using AI. Google search to karte hoge. So now that is also using AI. So basically AI is embedded in everything. Now in the youth that is 18 to 34 in India, 19% had significant awareness. This is also second lowest after Kenya. So only 19% had significant awareness. Otherwise most youth also didn't know much about it. Then see Germany, US, UK 90% plus familiarity reported. Then there is a trust paradox. So basically now in India, if you see hardly 46%, and in that also 14% are the people who have really read and understood it. Okay, now, but if you see the trust paradox, 89% Indians express confidence in government's ability to regulate AI. So 89 or 90% Indians think कि government बढ़िया regulate कर देगी, but they don't know where it is embedded, where it is being used, are we using it, is it exploiting us, nothing, but they know this, right? So because they will be asking that, are you fine in the way that government is regulating it? हाँ मोदी सरकार बहुत बढ़िया. So all those things they have recorded. Now, so these data you can quote if you have to remember. So you can remember 46% awareness, this data. Then if you have to quote in youth, you can say 19% only have significant this that. Okay, and one more data, that is this you will anyway remember, 90% people said that government can regulate AI very well. Okay, as you have studied, regulation of AI is a very difficult thing. Most government are struggling to regulate AI. Every year something new comes up. Okay, then now likely reasons for low awareness, why this matters, what can be done. Okay, let's do it using this question. All those three things are written in your document that you can always see. Now let's do this question. In this question only we'll cover all those three, so that it becomes more organic for you. Read the question. Okay, read it. Okay, how do you think this should be structured? First is, despite being a leader in digital innovation, India ranks low in public awareness of artificial intelligence. Yes, yes. So in the you have to first elucidate the context statement. Context statement has to be elucidated. Elucidated means you have to give more evidences of it. उसको ही काउंटर नहीं करना है कि हम तो क्रिटिकल इतने हैं आपको बताएं. So despite being a leader in digital innovation, so you have to consider that India is a leader in digital innovation. Now here you can quote all those data that we are the second largest user of internet, then we have one of the largest startup ecosystems, then in global innovation index we rank around 38, 39, whatever is the current ranking. So all those things you have to quote. So first will be about, in the introduction only you will talk about India's leadership in digital innovation. Then you will talk about what? Lack of public awareness. Then you have to give 2-3 points. What 2-3 points you can give? You can give points from that Pew Research, correct? Now, but lack of public awareness. Now you don't have to tell the reasons right now. Right now what you have to elucidate that there is lack of public awareness. For that you can use that Pew Research data, or you can talk about there is a huge digital divide in India. Okay, then you can also talk about that you can also talk about something called invisible AI. So basically everything has AI in it, but because it is not visible to us directly, that's why people have low awareness. Then you can of course quote the two data that you have from Pew Research, that is only 46% have some kind of awareness of it, and in youth you can quote only 19% have significant knowledge. This will be the first initial part. Okay. After this, you will come to the question, that is, discuss the implications of this gap and suggest ways to promote AI literacy. What are the implications? Low awareness of AI. Yes, yes. There are safety and security issues. Let's see now this part, which is implications. Implications of low awareness. What do you think? First is, what are the implications? Low awareness. One is, she's saying, safety issues. For example, deep fakes, some kind of misinformation, all that they would believe to be true. Other issues of low awareness. Leading to suicides. Okay. Okay. Then we are just discussing any point. What will be implication of low awareness of AI? Yes, you cannot harness its potential. Then any more you can think of? Not ready for future of jobs. Okay, future of jobs, because everything will be linked to AI eventually. Okay, now this is one way you can write it, but of course if you write like this, it won't have a good structure. Okay, so how you can think in this, that I'll tell you. See, I have to tell implications, correct? Now think in logical terms, implications of low awareness of artificial intelligence. Now if you have low awareness of anything, first issue that people will have is with respect to understanding. Now they won't have good understanding of anything that is being used. Now this, they won't understand AI ethics, they won't understand AI bias, all those things they won't understand. AI bias, if you know, algorithm bias it is also called. That, like one famous example is, it was asked, there was a list given to a AI system, and it asked to make a vice president from that list. Now all the categories, every detail was given to the AI. The AI chose only male candidates, because the entire data that it was seeing before, vice president was mostly male. So that's why it chose male. Now if you don't have understanding, then you start using AI regardless. Okay, so they don't have any understanding. Okay, so first issue is this. Then second issue, let's say somehow they something they understand, then there raises some legal and compliance issue. Legal and compliance issue. For example, yes, for example, copyright. For example, they are using anything that they don't have any information about. Now also, right now, if you know, yesterday only a news came that OpenAI is saying that we will stop our AI from giving any financial or legal information, financial or legal advice. Why? Because it leads to many cases being filed against it. So all those legal and compliance people don't know about. Then because of low awareness. Yeah, one more thing is unclear data retention, because people don't know till when their data is stored. Now if you see some good websites, it will be written that your data is stored for the next 3 months, next 6 months, but most sites don't even mention that. So they basically store your data for eternity. So this is second issue. So first is understanding of AI is weak, then after that they get into some legal or compliance issues. Then if they don't have any understanding, then adoption will be low. There will be very low adoption of it. Correct? For example, small businesses, they won't be able to adopt this. For example, rural people, these won't be able to adopt to this. Okay, why? Because they have low awareness, so they will have low adoption also. Then after this, then you can write if they adopt. Now because they don't understand it well enough, they will face safety issues. Here you can talk about misinformation, you can talk about deep fakes, you can talk about suicides, whatever you want to. This will be only one point. Okay, then last is now if they don't have understanding, adoption is low, safety issues they are already facing. Now next thing is what best can be done? This can be managed by the government, that government ensures everything. But if government ensures everything for you, one major issue that you learn in governance is about regulation and accountability. That is, if government turns rogue, that is, if government itself start exploiting you, start using your data, then you don't have any protection against it. Why? Because you don't have any understanding. So how you will regulate this? So public participation should be in every part of governance. That becomes hollow. So these are the major issues because of low awareness. Okay. You can learn it like this. So there is understanding issue. Now if there is no understanding, there is of course low adoption. Now after low adoption, there are two issues. One is compliance and legal issues, and the other is safety issues. Correct? Now these issues they will face. After that, one more issue, if everything is taken care by the government, then they face regulation and accountability issues. This is how you can remember. This will also help you write the other part, that is suggest ways to promote AI literacy, because now you want to amend ways in every part of it. Okay. Now let's expand it. We won't stick to this AI literacy very technically, that just teaching. A question will be much broader than this. Okay, so we will expand it like this. So understanding is there, then adoption is there, after that compliance and legal issues, then safety issues, and then regulation and accountability issue. Now there should be, you have to write government initiatives with respect to each of them as example to make your answer enriched. Now in understanding, now they don't have understanding. What you can have? You can have AI in national education policy. Correct? AI in national education policy. Then there is low adoption. Now to tackle low adoption, what you can have two things. One is public awareness campaigns. For example, Digital India का इतना ad आता है. Every day you can see Modi ji in some newspaper. Full page is there. Modi ji saying Digital India. So that is awareness. Okay. Now there is also My Government portal. From My Government portal, you get all the information. Okay. Then first part of adoption is public awareness. Now, in spite of public awareness, adoption can still be low in pockets that are not that developed or marginalized section. For that you need inclusiveness. That can come from, if you know one initiative, AI for All initiative, that we have done in artificial intelligence also. So AI for All initiative. This is with respect to adoption. Now for compliance and legal issues and safety issues, what you need is you need to train people, or there is need for skill development. For example, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0 they are trying to make. So all these things you have to do in skill development. Okay. There is also Skill India. This will also secure the job issue that we are facing because of low AI awareness and adoption. And the last is about this. So there should be transparency. DPDP Act implementation should be proper. DPDP Act, you know, data protection, no, digital personal data protection, DPDP, digital personal data protection. This is DPDP Act. Okay, this has come in 2023. This protects all your data. This gives you many different rights for you to hold your data. Okay, so this can be done for transparency. In this way, if you remember this flow chart, you can write the issues also and whatever are the solution. Now this can be used in other technologies also. For example, blockchain also, same issues you will face. If you have to simply write about internet use cases, now here also understanding issues there, adoption issues there, compliance and legal, safety and regulation, and so all those things you can divide it like this, and then you can end with that Modi quote or whatever you like. Okay. Okay, that's it. At last, just tell me whatever we have learned. This is done? No. Yeah. What was the first topic? First topic was what? BAS. Blockchain as a service. What this was? This was providing all the framework, and then different companies can build their apps on it. Now, examples of it came from Microsoft and Amazon and all these. Okay, then after that we have national blockchain framework. There were 4 components to it, main 4 components. First one was what? Vishwasya stack, blockchain stack. Then other was what? Pramanika. Pramanika was for verification of mobile apps. Then one more was that NBF Lite. NBF Lite was for what? Yes, this was for prototyping. This is BAS. And last was what? This portal, where you can get all of these services. Correct? This only is needed. Now, NBF is launched in September 2024. It completed 1 year and it was in use. We have verified around 34 crores documents. Sometime, if you remember, you can quote it in Meets. Then, next topic was Vigyan. Yeah, Vigyan Puruskar. Okay. Just thorough reading of it. Just the name of that person who got Vigyan Ratna. There are 4 types. In one of them is Swaroop, that SSP, Shanti Swaroop Puruskar, that is given for Yuva Vaigyanik. Okay, that is given for less than 45 years. Others are guessable. Okay, Ratna is the highest one. mostly given to people lifetime achievement. Then there is for distinguished and all that. This is done. Then next was what? Yeah, Bharat 6G Alliance. So this is for India to be made a leader. Now it is, of course, this is being led by what? This is being led by Bharat 6G Alliance. This is led by industry, COAI if you remember, and this is facilitated by government, and it is collaborating with other 6G Alliance. Then last was what? There was Pew Research and its finding with respect to AI awareness. 3 data you need to remember. One was 19%, other was 46%, and the last was 90%. You remember all of them? 19% is for 19% youth. Only this percent of youth is aware about AI. Well, then 46% was for combined awareness of AI. So this was combined, and last this is government trust. That's it. This is all you have to remember. Thank you.